Yin-Yang Master's Journey to Another World, Chapter 9-11. Chinese Long Fantasy Novels. Chapter 9, Dongfang Long's Wrath. The once lively and festive hall was suddenly enveloped in a heavy atmosphere. Everyone held their breath, watching Kui Meiling in disbelief. How dare this woman, under everyone's watchful eyes, drop the young master who had just reached his first month? What was her motive? Didn't she know that Dongfang Long only had this one son? Didn't she know that this was Dongfang Long's territory? The entire hall fell silent, all sounds swallowed by the muffled thud of the baby hitting the ground. What? What are you doing? Dongfang Bao was furious and panicked. He never expected such a thing to happen. Although he and his wife had come with ill intentions and had even conspired to poison the baby in an unspeakable act, those were things done in the dark, unknown to anyone. Kui Meiling's actions just now were different. It was like openly provoking Dongfang Long, and even more so, the entire general's mansion. At this moment, Dongfang Bao wished he could strangle this ruinous woman on the spot. He thought her foolishness should have a limit. She should have considered the occasion. He had long heard that Dongfang Long cherished this newly born son as the apple of his eye, which was precisely why he and his wife planned to poison the baby. That small red pill had the effect of slowly turning the baby into a mentally challenged child. He wanted Dongfang Long to be left in vain joy, to become the laughingstock of the whole world. If asked why he hated Dongfang Long so much, it was because he thought Dongfang Long had stolen the status and power that should have been his. He was also jealous that Dongfang Long, who had no blood relation with them at all, was always favored by their father. If it weren't for Dongfang Long, his own mother and younger sister wouldn't have left home for more than 20 years. With no news to this day, he hated Dongfang Long, hated him from the bottom of his heart. Every day, he wished to get rid of Dongfang Long, but subconsciously, he feared him because Dongfang Long had an astonishing talent in martial arts since childhood. After receiving his father's true teachings, his current strength was unfathomable. Not daring to raise his head, Dongfang Bao glanced at Dongfang Long not far away with his peripheral vision, his heart so tense it was about to jump out of his chest. At this moment, Dongfang Long's eyes were wide with anger, his teeth clenched, and his arms trembling as he tried to suppress his urge to kill. Ixi Chuping finally reacted from the shock, screamed, and rushed over to pick up Dongfang Su's, who was unconscious on the ground. While crying, she called out, "Je, wake up and take a look at your mother. Je, don't scare your mother. Open your eyes." At this moment, Dongfang Xiuzhe was pretending to be unconscious. Hearing his mother's heart-wrenching cries, a wave of sorrow welled up in his heart. He really wanted to open his eyes and tell his mother, "Don't worry, your son has spiritual power to protect him, and now he has some minor divine powers. This kind of impact is nothing." However, in the end, he still held back. If a woman like Kui Meiling is not taught a lesson this time, she may become even more aggressive next time. If it were only aimed at himself, Dongfang Xiuzhe would not be afraid, but he was afraid that this woman would turn her spearhead towards his mother, who had no self-protection ability. Kui Meiling was speechless, completely stunned, especially seeing so many eyes all focused on her. She became even more panicked. How could this happen? How could this happen? Kui Meiling couldn't figure out why this kind of thing would happen. She was quite clever. How could she do such a foolish thing? But can this be blamed on me? Kui Meiling remembered that when she was about to return the baby to Ji Chuping, a sudden stabbing pain came from her wrist. Upon closer inspection, the baby in her hands had inexplicably turned into a venomous snake. At that moment, she didn't have time to think, and reflexively threw the venomous snake entwined in her hand to the ground. However, this was not the end of the nightmare, but the beginning of the dream. There was no venomous snake on the ground. It was clearly a baby. Kui Meiling couldn't understand why she saw a venomous snake and seemed to have been bitten by it. But why did it turn into a baby? She no longer had time to think about this question because Dongfang Long would not give her that time. Today, if you don't give me a reasonable explanation, don't even think about leaving this room. Dongfang Long's red eyes were like an angry beast. He was really angry. He has always known that his two younger brothers, Dongfang Hu and Dongfang Bao, harbored great prejudices against him. This prejudice had spread to their respective wives and children. No matter what they did to him, Dongfang Long could bear it for the sake of his adoptive father. But this time, he couldn't bear it anymore. The 1,000 should not, and the 10,000 should not. They should not harm his son who was born not long ago in such a way. He, Dongfang Long, has killed many people on the battlefield, and today, he doesn't care about adding 1 or 2 more lives. I didn't mean it. Feeling the murderous aura coming from Dongfang Long, Kui Meiling's face turned as pale as paper. Didn't mean it? A cold laugh. Dongfang Long's murderous aura became even stronger. He was not blind. Could he not tell whether it was intentional or not? Kui Meiling's action of dropping the child just now was too obvious. Where was it an accident? It was clearly intentional. I really didn't mean it, Kui Meiling kept saying while retreating backward. Then I will punch you not intentionally, as long as you can still live. I will believe you. Dongfang Long's fierce flame fighting spirit burst out, and the temperature in the hall soared in an instant. But this temperature was not comparable to the raging anger in his heart. Everyone could see that Dongfang Long's words were not a joke. Kui Meiling was scared to the extreme at this moment, and she could see that Dongfang Long really intended to kill her. Although she also had some skills, her strength was very weak. It was okay to deal with ordinary people, but against a heavyweight like Dongfang Long, one punch could send her to report to the King of Hell. Therefore, when the explanation didn't work, she quickly asked her husband, Dongfang Bao, for help. Although Dongfang Bao was also angry with Kui Meiling for causing trouble, she was his wife after all, and he couldn't just stand by and ignore it. Big brother. Dongfang Bao stood out, and he usually didn't address him like this. My wife is indeed flustered and should be punished. When I go back, I will definitely teach her a lesson. The priority now is to check on the condition of my nephew. Go back? With a cold snort, Dongfang Long's eyes suddenly widened. You have to eat my punch first. Dongfang Long, who was furious, would not be willing to give up because of a word from Dongfang Bao. The one who was dropped was his son. He had just experienced a scare a few days ago, and now he has suffered this misfortune again. Why should my son be so rough since he was born? Chapter 0 Den. Severing ties. As Dongfang Long advanced step by step, and Kui Meiling retreated step by step, the entire hall was filled with a tense atmosphere, like drawn swords about to clash. Even if others wanted to persuade, they didn't know what to say, let alone whether Dongfang Long, who was in a fit of rage, would listen. Whether Kui Meiling was truly foolish or just scared, seeing that Dongfang Long was unwilling to let go, she suddenly pulled out her hairpin, and then actually pointed the sharp tip at Xi Chuping's neck, who was still desperately calling out, Jer. Desperate measures indeed. Stop coming over. Don't come any closer. Kui Meiling was like a frightened bird, her hand holding the hairpin trembling incessantly. Dongfang Long stopped in his tracks, yet his anger only grew stronger. This detestable woman, first she dropped his son, and now she's threatening his wife. I, Dongfang Long, will not rest until I've killed you today. Don't push me any further, or I'm capable of anything. Seeing Dongfang Long stop, Kui Meiling mistakenly thought her method was working and continued. I've already made it very clear that it was an accident. I didn't do it on purpose. Why are you pushing me like this? What a woman who twists the facts. Dongfang Long's teeth gnashed audibly. His eyes seemed to be spewing fire, and he laughed angrily, asking, So your actions now are not intentional either? The entire hall was as still as death. Those who initially wanted to step forward and persuade changed their minds upon seeing Kui Meiling's behavior. Today, they truly recognized this well-dressed woman. She was not bad-looking, but she was a beast in disguise, not only stubbornly arguing, but also threatening others' lives to save herself. It's all because you forced me, I didn't want to do this. Kui Meiling also realized that doing this was damaging her image. But compared to her life, what's the image count for? Third brother. Dongfang Long turned to Dongfang Bao with a bloodthirsty smile. Your wife is now threatening me. Aren't you going to say anything? Dongfang Bao was still angry that Dongfang Long didn't give him any face just now, thinking to himself that, since things have come to this, he might as well tear his face off completely. Dongfang Long, if you hadn't been so domineering just now, if you had listened to my advice, things wouldn't have escalated to this point. My wife is not an unreasonable person. Dongfang Bao said a lot, and undoubtedly, his words were just adding fuel to the fire. Ha 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 ha, Dongfang Long laughed to the sky, and the entire hall seemed to tremble for him. Only now did he truly wake up. For such ungrateful villains, he shouldn't have endured over and over again. Today, he finally saw through their true faces. I, Dongfang Long, will spare you too for now. From now on, our kindness is severed and our righteousness is broken. Get out of here. Dongfang Long said almost word by word. The meaning of his words was that he would spare the couple today, and whether he would forgive them in the future would depend on the extent of his son's injury. That's just right, I've long wanted to cut you off. Dongfang Bao looked unyielding. Just as things were developing to an uncontrollable situation, a voice suddenly sounded from outside. What's going on? The voice was majestic and deep. Then an old man with white hair and a youthful face walked in. When he saw the situation in the field, he couldn't help but be stunned. This old man was no one else but Dongfang Bao's father, Dongfang Tianba, and also Dongfang Long's adoptive father. What's going on? Meiling, what are you doing with the hairpin? Dongfang Tianba frowned and asked. Kui Meiling saw the old man, and she felt scared from the bottom of her heart. She stammered and couldn't say a complete sentence. Before Dongfang Tianba came in, he heard the harsh words from Dongfang Long and Dongfang Bao, but he didn't understand what it was for. He knew that his two biological sons were not in harmony with his adoptive son Dongfang Long, but this time it seemed more severe than any other time. Hey, what's wrong with my grandson? Dongfang Tianba finally noticed Dongfang Xiuzhe in Shi Chuping's arms, and his brows couldn't help but wrinkle again. Although Dongfang Long was still furious, he didn't dare to act recklessly in front of his adoptive father. He forcefully restrained his anger and briefly explained what had happened. Meiling, is that true? Dongfang Tianba's old eyes suddenly burst with a brilliant light. Pretending to be unconscious, Dongfang Xiuzhe's body couldn't help but tremble. He thought to himself, my grandfather has such a pure fighting spirit. Although it was just a flash, it had an extremely domineering energy. It is true that the older the ginger, the hotter it gets. Although he was very curious about what kind of person his grandfather was, Dongfang Xiuzhe had to suppress his curiosity to avoid revealing any flaws in front of these big figures. As for the woman Kui Meiling, he hated her as much as he could. She even dared to hold my mother hostage. She was really bold. Even if my father could spare you, I, Dongfang Xiuzhe, will not let it go. Dongfang Xiuzhe kept this account in his heart, waiting for the day to settle the score. Later, Kui Meiling wanted to deny it, but so many eyes saw it, and she couldn't deny it, so she had to nod in agreement, but she didn't forget to argue. But I didn't do it on purpose. I was just. Bang! A loud slap interrupted Kui Meiling's later words, and she staggered and took a few steps back. Everyone was shocked again. No one expected Dongfang Tianba to make a move without any signs. Although this slap didn't use any fighting spirit, it still made Kui Meiling's mouth bleed, and a bright red palm print appeared on her face. Kui Meiling was stunned again. She couldn't understand why her father, who had always been kind to her, slapped her so hard this time. No one had ever hit her before. Dongfang Tianba didn't even look at Kui Meiling, helped Shi Chuping up, and Lin Yazi, who was waiting on one side, hurriedly accompanied the lady to go down and prepare to rescue the young master. Beast, kneel down for me. Dongfang Tianba glared at Dongfang Bao and shouted angrily. Father, I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I kneel? Dongfang Bao looked unyielding and unrepentant. Shut up, apologize to your elder brother. Dongfang Tianba wished he could slap this good-for-nothing son to death. He was already old enough, but he acted so recklessly. Dongfang Bao was very reluctant, but he dared not disobey his father's order. Just as he was about to kneel, Dongfang Long interjected. I can't bear your bow. I have already said very clearly just now, our kindness is broken, and our righteousness is broken. From now on, there is no relationship. He turned to Dongfang Tianba and said, Adoptive father, excuse me, I'm going to check on my son's condition. With that, he didn't wait for Dongfang Tianba to say anything and left the hall. A good full moon wine ended up like this. Dongfang Tianba was hoping in his heart that his little grandson would not have any major issues. Otherwise, it would be difficult for Dongfang Long and Dongfang Bao to reconcile. However, things did not go as he wished, and what happened later was far beyond his expectations. Chapter 011, Divine Wrath. In the room, Dongfang Xiuzhe lay flat on a soft bed, surrounded by a crowd of people. Lin Yazi sat by the bed, his expression grave as he busied himself pinching the pressure point between the eyebrows, flipping eyelids, feeling the pulse. The more he checked, the more astonished he became. "Uncle Lin, how is my son?" Shi Chuping clutched her clothes with both hands, her expression extremely haggard. Lin Yazi didn't speak, as the young master's condition was very strange, leaving him unsure of how to explain. He couldn't understand it. After being brutally dropped to the ground by that woman, the young master had no bruises on his body, not even a bump on his head. It was too bizarre. Even an adult should have some marks from such an impact, but the young master's body was as good as new. If the young master was fine, then why was he still unconscious? It was truly strange. At this moment, Dongfang Long pushed the door open from outside and quickly walked to the bedside, also asking with a look of concern, "Strategist, how is my son?" The young master's current condition. Before Lin Yazi could finish his words, Dongfang Xiuzhe suddenly opened his mouth, and on the tip of his tongue was a small red pill. What is that? Dongfang Long spotted the pill at a glance. Not only he, but everyone by the bed saw Ida's small red pill that was exceptionally noticeable. Lin Yazi's brows furrowed again, and he carefully took the pill from the young master's mouth, placing it on a clean tea tray. "Strategist, what kind of medicine is this?" Dongfang Long asked with some alarm. Lin Yazi scraped a bit of the pill with his fingernail, brought it close to his nose, smelled it, then pinched it between two fingers, and finally put down the tea tray, his expression grave as he said, "General, I'm afraid someone has been plotting to harm the young master." These words shocked everyone in the room. This medicine is called brain-eating pill, produced in the heavenly India country, and it is only effective for children under 3 years old. The characteristic of this medicine is that it will lurk for nearly half a year before taking effect. Babies who eat this medicine will gradually become confused, their brains continuously eroded until they finally become a crazy and foolish person. Lin Yazi introduced, "How is my son now?" Dongfeng Long was anxious and confused, grabbing Lin Yazi's arm and asking, "The young master should be blessed by the divine, and this medicine has not been swallowed, which is a great fortune in the misfortune." When Lin Yazi said this, he had an unsolvable doubt in his heart. The brain-eating pill dissolves as soon as it enters the mouth. But why was it kept so intact in the young master's mouth? Strange! It's strange. In the end, Lin Yazi could only regard this as a miracle. Dongfang Xiuzhe, lying on the bed, heard Lin Yazi's words clearly. He didn't expect that wicked woman to be so vicious, actually wanting to make me an idiot. It seems that the lesson I gave her was still too light. Dongfang Xiuzhe had to be grateful that his yin-yang 5 elements technique had a small success. Otherwise, he would really be calculated by Kui Meiling, the wicked woman. Strength is the only standard for life preservation. It seems it's really true. How long has he been born for? He was almost kidnapped, and this time he was almost drugged. It seems that without some strength, it really doesn't work. With this understanding, Dongfang Xiuzhe decided not to only practice the internal way, magic, but also to practice the external way, divine power. Well, it's settled. In this dangerous world, more skills do not oppress the body. "General, the young master is awake," the close maid Xiao Kui shouted. Dongfang Long and Lin Yazi turned around at the same time and saw that Dongfang Xiuzhe on the bed had opened his eyes. I don't know if it was an illusion, but his eyes seemed brighter and more spirited than before. In the hall, the other guests have basically dispersed. Only Dongfang Tianba, Dongfang Bao, and Kui Meiling are still there. At this time, Dongfang Tianba was still scolding Dongfang Bao when Dongfang Long came in with a gloomy face from outside. Dongfang Tianba's heart inexplicably tightened. Seeing his adoptive son's face so ugly, could it be that the little grandson's condition is not optimistic? "Scoundrel, you actually caused such a big disaster. Wait and see how I deal with you later." Dongfang Tianba cursed angrily. Then he walked up to Dongfang Long and asked, "How is the little grandson doing?" Dongfang Long withdrew his fierce look from Dongfang Bao and Kui Meiling and replied, "There is no major situation for the time being." "That's good. That's good." Dongfang Tianba said to himself in his heart, "Fortunately, the matter has not developed to an irreparable extent." He was about to say a few good words, but at this time, Dongfang Long suddenly shouted, "Kui Meiling, you viper woman, do you recognize what is in my hand?" After speaking, he opened his palm and revealed the pill that was taken out from Dongfang Xiuzhe's mouth. Seeing this thing, Kui Meiling was dumbfounded at the time, and her face was as pale as paper. What is this? Dongfang Tianba asked. He was a bit confused. This medicine is called brain-eating pill, Dongfang Long said indignantly, and his anger was burning in his heart. In this case, even Dongfang Tianba's face changed. How could such a vicious medicine appear in his little grandson's mouth? Who did it? It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. This medicine dissolves as soon as it enters the mouth. I clearly stuffed it into the baby's mouth. Kui Meiling's voice suddenly stopped, realizing that she had said too much. A cold laugh suddenly came out of Dongfang Long's mouth. He was originally worried that this woman would deny it, but now the evidence is conclusive, and it was said by her own mouth. No, it's not like this. Kui Meiling wanted to argue at this time, but it was too late. Come on! With a shout from Dongfang Long, more than 20 guards poured in from outside. Take this woman out and behead her. Dongfang Long pointed to Kui Meiling and ordered. No, you can't do this. Kui Meiling was like a madwoman, making a scene and being unreasonable. You just said to let me go. Do you want to go back on your word? Take her out. Dongfang Long had no room for negotiation, and he now hated this woman to the bone. Father, save me. Kui Meiling pleaded to Dongfang Tianba for help, but it was useless. Several guards had already firmly held her and dragged her out. Husband, save me. Kui Meiling turned to Dongfang Bao again, but the latter turned a blind eye. The couple is originally a bird in the same forest, and they fly separately when a disaster strikes. Dongfang Bao, you bastard. If you hadn't instructed me to poison Dongfang Long's son, how could I have today? You ungrateful villain. Kui Meiling was scolded and dragged out the door, but was called back by Dongfang Long's order. Who did you say you were instructed by? Dongfang Long stared at the frightened Kui Meiling, but his murderous intent was directed at Dongfang Bao on the side.